Hello and welcome to Post Game Theory. I'm your host, Sam Vecenie. Tonight, we're going to do a quick little emergency breakdown of Luka Doncic's debut with the Los Angeles Lakers. Full scale, old school post game theory style. We're going immediately right after he just finished this game against the Utah Jazz. The Los Angeles Lakers won this game 132 to 113. It was never remotely close. The Lakers got up 12 in the first quarter. They were up 25 at halftime, and they just cruised the whole way. Luka only ended up playing 24 minutes, including no time in the fourth quarter. He goes for 14 points on 14 shots. It was not a wildly efficient night. He ends up shooting 1 for 7 from three, just didn't seem to have that touch. You have to remember, he is coming back from this calf injury that is going to continue to be an issue where he works his way back in. I would imagine that he's probably not quite in the game shape that he would like to be. And as he continues to roll along, I would think that the shooting will come back. He missed quite a few pull-up shots short tonight, actually. We'll talk through that a little bit. But more than anything, you could just see the impact that he had on the Lakers offense. It was pretty ridiculous watching him out there with LeBron James. It was kind of a head trip, honestly, watching Luka Doncic in a yellow and purple jersey, just point blank, just a full scale head trip. But more than anything, you could see they haven't had a lot of practice time together. They were kind of running sets, and you could see his and LeBron's basketball geniuses kind of molding together, meshing together in really interesting ways, even though you didn't really kind of get the full scale experience that I think we're going to see moving forward as these guys get more and more experience together. The other thing worth noting here, for my money, Utah's probably the worst team in the league right now. Certainly the worst defensive team in the league, even when Walker Kessler is out there. Their perimeter play is just not good enough. John Collins is not a particularly good four-man. We are mostly going to break down the offense because I think that that is what people are most interested in at the end of the day. How is this offense with LeBron James and Luka Doncic going to work? I thought that JJ Redick ran some really interesting, intriguing sets that we'll run through, but let's just run through the tape and talk through it, right? Okay. First set here, I think this is the second offensive possession that the Lakers had. It was just hilarious. This game started, I think, with 4 lob plays. I believe that one of them is going to get missed. We'll get to that eventually. But it was just dunk city all night for the Los Angeles Lakers here. LeBron ends up hitting Luka like in semi-transition. You get to just see the deceleration that Luka has. He ends up hitting Jackson Hayes just right in the dunker spot here. I mean, this is Luka's superpower, guys. If you're a Lakers fan that doesn't have a ton of experience with Luka Doncic for whatever reason, that ability to just Euro step, stop, slow down, bam, get to this area, force this defender here, this rim protector here, and Walker Kessler into a conflict, make him either guard the little floater or guard the dunker spot here. Kessler makes his choice. He ends up contesting Luka, jumps up in the air, easy lob to Jackson Hayes there. Just super high IQ basketball player. This isn't anything new with Luka Doncic, right? So this one, going to get LeBron into like a little Chicago action. And this is just Luka into a little Chicago action. People unfamiliar with like little Chicago actions, this would be like a middle Chicago. It is a screen into a dribble handoff. And the dribble handoff player is going to end up setting like a pseudo screen, obviously, as well. So it ends up being kind of a stagger action where you can see Isaiah Collier now is like full scale chasing by the time Luka Doncic gets the ball. This is a really fun set. You can see off the ball on the weak side here where they've basically emptied this area out. You have LeBron who has lifted, which means that Laurie Markkanen here is going to have to make a decision on, okay, do I tag Jackson Hayes? Do I trust that one of my guys here is going to step up, or do I just stay on LeBron? Lowry gives like a little stunt here before getting back. John Collins kind of sniffs this play out from the jump. He sees Jackson Hayes coming downhill. He's just going to rotate over, make the play. This was Luka's only turnover tonight, actually. Just a little bit late, honestly. A little bit late on the lob there, right? I think if he throws this like right as soon as he turns it, like if he's throwing the ball, like the ball's coming out of his hand right now, literally, I think he probably catches Jackson. But again, this is just a player that is on a brand new team and hasn't played in 6 weeks, right? He ends up being just like a step late here, gives John Collins that entryway to be able to break that pass up. But again, we're going to get to another dunk here. Luka inbounds it out to Hayes. Hayes is going to reverse this ball here to Jackson Hayes, or to Austin Reeves, I'm sorry. On the back end, right after the inbounds pass, Luka sets this little back screen here for Rui to dive to the rim. Jackson Hayes is going to come around. If that play doesn't work, Luka is going to be able to come up, take this screen here, be a potential option for Austin Reeves. You can just see like the attention onto Luka, right? John Collins is late. Like he just doesn't get around this screen here. But because Luka is such an impactful player, it's kind of hard to switch this action, honestly. Like the easiest way to guard this would be just to have Collier take Rui and Collins be on Luka. But that's a mismatch. That's not what you want. You don't want a big on Luka Doncic. You want somebody who can guard, and John Collins is one of Utah's worst defenders. If that is, say, on that inbounds pass, let's call it like Gabe Vincent, right? Gabe Vincent's been really, really good recently, but if that's Gabe Vincent, they probably do just switch that action at the end of the day. And it breaks down the whole thing. Gabe Vincent comes up, gets the dribble handoff after the screen, the down screen here from Jackson Hayes, and they have to reset. But because it's Luka, you're worried about a poor defender being on such a great player. Creates this easy little back screen into a sick little pass from Austin Reeves there. John Collins blocks this with his head after it's already gone through the rim. This is goaltend. Easy dunk finish. I think that was the fourth of the 4 dunk plays potentially that they had early on. Just 2 minutes into this game here. Going to get into like the special Luka step back game, right? Luka does miss a lot of these shots short. But again, this is just the first one where you can see like the calf probably isn't quite there yet with Luka. You get the drive here. Kessler does a great job cutting it off. They kind of decide to double. I think Collier is a little bit worried about if he has to help the helper here. Luka's able just to lift up to the wing. Collier's also kind of just ball watching here while guarding Luka, which is a nightmare in and of itself. Does get out for the closeout. Gets the jump. Gets the jump again. It's a good contest in the end by Collier, but for Luka, that's a shot that I think he would expect to make at least a decent amount of the time. This one just ends up a little bit short. I would expect that those shots will start falling for Luka at some point relatively soon. So this one, screen. This is the 1-3 that he did drill. It was good to see Luka get a step back 3, just one of those patented shots that, you know, he was so well known for in Dallas. Sorry to Dallas fans, but ball screen here. They just decide to switch this. You can see Collier kind of leaking here just in case Rui ends up getting just an easy seal into a roll dunk here. This ability to kind of have this footwork from Luka is, again, kind of what just makes him so special. The hesitation into ball pickup, into that little jab step where you can see the foot go that way, then step back out. It's a really tough guard for most bigs. He's very comfortable getting to that shot. That's an open shot for him. He's going to absolutely live on those with the Lakers. Now we've got him. LeBron, just a quick little double drag ghost action. This is fun where you can just literally see that these two are still working out how to play with one another, right? So this is setting up as a double drag in like semi-transition, right? LeBron's going to ghost the first one and then just go. Is this a set play? Is this just a LeBron kind of reaction? To me, this is a set play because you can see Austin Reeves kind of setting up here for the back screen, and then LeBron's going to get all the way to the rim. The timing just looks off, obviously, on this just a little bit in terms of, okay, Luka's probably a little bit slower getting around this screen than what most players are. That means that LeBron has to go a little bit slower slipping this. Austin Reeves is kind of waiting to set this screen. I'm sure that he has like a visual cue on when he's supposed to set this screen. Is it when Luka gets to this spot? Is it when he gets to this spot, right? I would imagine just looking at where Austin Reeves is looking. Austin Reeves on this play is looking just out this way. I think he's looking for a visual cue to see, okay, when do I set this screen, right? Okay, Luka gets to that spot. Now his head turns. You can see Austin Reeves here. His head turns. He's going to try and get to the back screen, right? Back screen comes, LeBron jumps. But again, like this is one where you've got Walker Kessler here, a genuinely great rim protector. He's going to try and throw this lob up over the top. And it just feels off in terms of timing. This is stuff that as they play together longer, Austin Reeves will probably figure out a different visual cue. The coaching staff will figure out a different visual cue for Austin Reeves. Maybe it's Reeves figuring it out himself. LeBron will figure out, okay, I've got to do this at this point. Luka will figure out, okay, maybe I have to go around the screen a little bit quicker here, right? There are a lot of different things that they'll kind of work through and figure out on this play, but it just looks a little bit off in terms of timing here. I think that Reeves is a little bit, slow. I don't even want to say Reeves is slow because I don't think he's at fault. I think it's just that they're all trying to figure this out at once. And it ends up resulting in, it's deflected. Kessler ends up deflecting it. They're able to reset the possession. Ball goes out of bounds. 11 seconds still on the shot clock. Things are fine. But look, that's the stuff that'll come with time, right? It's not like it's a big deal. It's just the things that they'll figure out. So this one, Lakers switch this action. Rui here. Now you're just going to see Dorian Finney-Smith, who has been awesome recently on defense. Same with Vanderbilt. Same with Gabe Vincent. That energy, that aggression. Look at the lineup here, by the way. I would say that, frankly, this is probably a LeBron at the 5 lineup. You can see LeBron is the one here guarding Walker Kessler. I love these small lineups that the Lakers have run out recently. You're going to see here, Dorian Finney-Smith just gets his hand in there, gets the deflection. Finney-Smith runs through the play. And again, like this is where, okay, we have Finney-Smith, smart basketball player. You could see here, I think Luka even did like a little hand wave to run through the play real quick. Finney-Smith, who has played with Luka in Dallas before, probably has these things down a little bit more than some of the Lakers. Runs through the play, which opens up a situation where, okay, we're not quite empty, but we are only one player here on this side of the court that could potentially help. Otherwise, it's going to have to be Markkanen stepping up here. Now you've got LeBron on Walker Kessler. This is a mismatch. Little backspin. Fake backspin. Gets to this pull up here. Keyonte George, he can't help off of Luka here. If he helps off of Luka, Luka's wide open. Again, if that's somebody like a Gabe Vincent, if that's somebody like, I think Austin Reeves is a stud. If that's even like Austin Reeves, you might get a help there. But because it's Luka, you don't get a help. This ends up being like a contested mid-range jumper with 15 seconds left on the shot clock. It's not ideal, but it's a shot that LeBron is super comfortable with, and it's a one-on-one shot against the center, mismatch opportunity. I think it's in part because he has a little bit more space to operate within here than what he typically does. And that's going to be a huge benefit to the offense. So this one, you could see Luka. He's going to call out for screens pretty regularly, right? Note who he calls out. He calls out somebody specific. He wants Rui to come set a screen. So Rui comes up. Again, this is the super small lineup. Why do we think he wants Rui to set a screen here? Well, it's because he's got John Collins on him. If Rui comes up and sets this screen, Kessler is probably going to play a little bit closer to the level than what he would like to. If he doesn't, then it's just going to be a pick and pop opportunity to Rui, because if you notice, Rui kind of slips this and then gets to the mid-range, right? Slips, realizes it's a switch. The Jazz had been switching quite a bit here. Rui ends up getting leverage here. Luka sees it. But then the big key on why he wanted Rui to come up and set the screen was to get these two away from the rim, setting up a back line where it's Keyonte George and Jordan Clarkson on the back line. And that's going to be really, really hard for Utah to deal with. This isn't even a fantastic pass. It's just one that he knows Rui's going to be able to get because those two are there. You can see here, Rui's first look was out toward Reeves. Second look, he realizes he's got two on the ball. He's going to have a wide open Dorian Finney-Smith. He gets the ball out to Dorian Finney-Smith off of like a, pseudo deep roll, short roll. Kessler flies in for the help. And now we're just rotating all around and getting shots, right? We've got the defense tilted. We got him bent in large part because Luka is who he is. You can see here Kessler, who is guarding Luka Doncic, comes in, goes for the help. He realizes he has to because, again, it's those two guarding here around the basket after John Collins is beat. This is a good reaction from Walker Kessler. Dorian Finney-Smith recognizes it. Going to hit the kick out. Luka could very easily decide to reverse it along. He instead decides to drive. After he drives, he's got Lowry here. He realizes that Clarkson has gone to LeBron. That means Keyonte George is in a one-on-two. And there is no player in the NBA that thrives more at finding and manipulating defenders in one-on-two situations than Luka Doncic does. That's just the reality of who he is as a player. So here you're going to see him literally look off Keyonte here by pointing his entire body toward Austin Reeves and then eventually finding the kick out here to Rui Hachimura. That's an open three. That's one that I think Rui would expect to make. And by the way, Rui tonight goes 3 for 6 from three. He's become a player that I've had questions about previously, but I generally trust if he's shooting now. If he is an open three-point shooter, I think that ball's going to go in at this point. He's hitting 43% from three this year. If you leave him wide open, it's going to be tough. He ends up missing this one. Luka's there for the cleanup act, right? So just a quick little tip there from Finney-Smith. Luka doesn't quit on the play. You can see they kind of celebrate real quick. I love this. A lot of smiles tonight from Luka. Was really happy to be there, it felt like. This one, second quarter now. I mean, just absolutely filthy. The ability to decelerate is just such a superpower for him. I mean, boom. Behind the back. Johnny Juzang is all the way out of this play. That's a big amount of separation on just a simple behind the back dribble. Where does it go? Goes a little short. He front rims it, right? Again, he's just getting the touch back. He's getting back into shape after the calf injury. These shots are not going to fall short all the time for Luka. This one, just a quick little screen here from Dorian Finney-Smith. Going to set up like a little post up here. They switch it. Now you got Johnny Juzang here. Not a good defender. Empty side. Can't send any help. If you send Lowry here, yeah, sure, Keontae George is there, but he ain't out high pointing Jackson Hayes. There's no chance of that. You send help from here. Maybe. You might be able to. You could have John Collins try and guard 1-on-2, but that's a damn good shooter. And I just said that I think that if you leave Rui open, it's probably a problem. So empty side, they can't help. Probably the shot you want Luka to take if you're the Jazz here. And it's just nothing but net. Just a sick player. He's just an absolutely sick player. You can see Luka, he asks for a screen there from Hayes. Hayes sets it, and my goodness. Just whipping the ball around. This is bad defense from Utah, just kind of across the board here. Let's just, kind of dissect it real quick. Screen. Crossover. These two just don't know which one of them's supposed to be tagging and which one's supposed to be in the 1-on-2 here on the backside. They both kind of go to tag. Luka recognizes it, whips the ball out to his old teammate and Dorian Finney-Smith and his current teammate. Whips that thing out there with velocity. Finney-Smith then gets the ball out to Rui. Keontae George and Johnny Juzang. No one knows who's going to Austin versus staying on the ball. They both go to Reeves. Whose fault is that? In my opinion, this is a classic X out. This should be Keontae George going to Rui, and this should be Juzang going up to Austin Reeves. I think Keontae needs to take some responsibility there and just get in front of Rui. He doesn't. This is not what I would call fundamental rim protection here from John Collins. John Collins had a great year this year, but I mean, he's just kind of nowhere on this one. Leaves it wide open for Rui to finish. But again, it's these early advantages that Luka can create and also that LeBron is so good at creating. This is an early advantage. Now you've got the defense scrambling just through this one pass. Boom, scramble. Mistake here. Mistake on the first one. Take advantage of them, create the advantages, and go. So this one, notice this is all without LeBron on the court these last few. I mean, just a beautiful little drive here from Luka. Nothing crazy. Nothing, all that wild. It's an inbound pass here into a DHO. Seems clear they're trying to deny him getting to the middle here because you can see that Jackson Hayes is trying to come set a screen. But either Clarkson is not doing the right thing here, or Kessler is off of his line in terms of what he should be doing. I would need to know what they want to do in these circumstances. DHO into a ball screen. Teams have rules for those kind of things. I'm not in the Jazz's huddle. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, what their rule is. I don't know it. But I would venture personally that Walker is probably out too high here, given that he's guarding a non-shooter in Jackson Hayes. He probably should have been just where he was a second ago, right there. There's not really a reason for him to be out this high. Because he is out this high, you get this drive here from Luka. And this is where, Luka being one of the 3 best passers in the world or whatever he is really fun. Lauri Markkanen's here. But you've also got Rui in the corner. So basically, he's in a death sentence here in terms of, all right, do I stay with Luka and try to contest this and he shoots it out to Rui? Or do I try and stunt, get him to shoot it out to Rui and maybe I guess right and get a steal? I mean, he stunts. The thing with Luka is that because he decelerates so well, he always has more time than you do. He always has more time. He plays so well on the ground, on balance. He makes it really, really hard on defenders. This one ends up being an easy lay-in because of it. And again, this is the stuff where you can see the Jazz's defense is just not up to par this year. They're just not very good. So this one, you've got Keontae George on Luka Doncic. This is just an auto mismatch. Luka just decides to fire that ball up. This time he back rims it. That's new. I'm honestly a little bit surprised he didn't try and just back him down here and get into the mid post like he did against Juzang earlier. But yeah, the touch will get there on the shot. Those are the shots you do have to kind of live with Luka. He is going to take those opportunities from time to time. It's just a reality of him being a great player. There are going to be some questionable shots here. This one's fun. LeBron's back on the court. Johnny Juzang probably fouls Luka there. So Luka looked at the referee once while he was in the backcourt. Looked at him again there. Still continuing the conversation there. Oh yeah, by the way, we've got, I guess a 4-on-5 developing here now because Juzang is realizing that Luka is still talking to the ref for some reason. Look, Lakers fans are going to have to learn to live with it, that this is going to be a reality of what Luka does. LeBron recognizes that Juzang's sagging in. He gets it to Luka quickly. Luka drives. You get the Clarkson help here. Luka, I think, tries to go up because he's frustrated and tries to specifically draw this foul. But again, he's just always got more time than you do. He has noticed this entire time that Gabe Vincent is cutting back door. He throws this ball as a pass to Gabe Vincent. So Vincent's here, out to LeBron, out to Vincent. Ball just keeps moving, right? He just always has more time than what you do. This is a drive. Help. Who is guarding Gabe Vincent? Let's rewind just a touch here. It is Walker Kessler. They have switched this possession. Kessler does look back for Vincent there, but he doesn't look back again to find him, right? He is not really involved in this play. He is kind of ball watching here. Vincent recognizes it, gives Luka a little bit of an out there. Then the reversal. You get another opportunity for LeBron to create something. Kessler just kind of sinks in. I didn't think this was Kessler's best defensive game, honestly. Look, he's working with, a not great deck right now defensively with who's around him. But I thought he got a little bit too ball watchy here, in all honesty. LeBron sees that Kessler comes in a little bit, able to hit Vincent with 1 second left on the shot clock. Vincent drills the three. LeBron and Luka are going to be able to create advantages against your defense, especially if you don't have a lot of great defenders on the court. Now, again, Luka and LeBron. This one's fun. So LeBron basically forces this switch here where he gets Collins onto Luka, Clarkson onto him. Gabe Vincent recognizes it. Vincent shoots through the play, goes to the weak side. So what do we got now? We got LeBron on Jordan Clarkson. That's a mismatch. John Collins comes to double. Lowry comes to double now. So we've got, with Lowry doubling, Collins here on Luka. We've got a 1-on-2 with Keontae George onto Vincent and Finney Smith. You've got Kessler onto Jackson Hayes. Kick out to Luka. Quick reversal. Make Keontae George make this move here. Quick reversal. Down to Gabe Vincent. That's a clean look at a three. It doesn't have to be that hard. Like, it's just as simple as, okay, we're going to create an advantage. We're going to force a situation where you have to get a double. LeBron reads the double. Kick out to Luka. Quick reversal, quick reversal. That's a clean look at a three. You might wish it was somebody different in the corner. Like if Austin Reeves was out there, maybe it'd work a little bit better, but that's the kind of stuff that like offense doesn't have to be complicated for the Lakers anymore. If they force doubles, both Luka and LeBron are probably two of the 10 best players in the league at passing out of doubles. Probably an understatement, honestly. They might be two of the 5 best players in the league. So just a quick little slip action there. So why are we slipping here? Because it's going to create potentially a little bit of momentary confusion between these two. The Jazz had been switching a lot in this game. Lowry kind of recognizes that it's just a slip here. There's not really a screen there. But Collins thinks, well, we're switching. Like, you know, we got to talk. Jazz got to talk through this. They got to be able to figure out, okay, what's going on? What are we doing? What are our principles here? Slip actions. What do we want to do? How do we want to guard them? Forces a long closeout there. And now you've got Dorian Finney-Smith having created a 1-on-2. He can go to Jackson Hayes or he can go to the rim. Just depends on what Walker Kessler does. Kessler kind of gives like a fake jump there while turning his body to be able to get all the way back to Jackson Hayes. It's actually pretty good defense, I think, from Kessler there. I mean, he's just by himself here. There's nothing he can do. Ball movement's terrific, but it comes because that initial advantage is just created so easily here. If you're able to create those initial advantages, it's just going to be really, really hard to deal with these guys. That's kind of the reality. Before we get to the next part of the video, I just want to shout out our good friends over at PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. We love PrizePicks here at Game Theory because of how easy they make it to get real money sports action. If you think Justin Jefferson or if you think somebody else is going to go crazy next year in a game, or if you're just still pumped about your winnings from the Super Bowl because you picked Xavier Worthy to score a touchdown, because you picked maybe DeAndre Hopkins to score a touchdown, you know, maybe some of the Eagles that scored as well, obviously, you can, as you know, make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long over on PrizePicks. Download the app today and use the code GameTheory to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today. Use that code GameTheory to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. Okay, back to it now. You can see early screen here from Dorian Finney-Smith. Luka's just able to draw this foul here because they get the switch. Look, these might seem super easy. These might seem like situations where you're wondering, like, okay, wait, like, how is this easy on some level? But when you have LeBron on the court, and honestly, when you're playing the Jazz, we can say that too, and you're playing a team that is just going to run a switching defense, it's going to lead to mismatches. It's going to lead to mismatches in one of two ways when it's either Luka or LeBron. It's going to be really hard, I think, for teams to put up with both of these guys. So here, I mean, you just got Jordan Clarkson in a switch on Luka. Again, this is just a significant mismatch. Luka is so good at decelerating. We've said that throughout this video that, you know, the stop here, the ability to put all of his weight, like, he's not a light dude. The ability to put all of his weight through that right leg, get to that step back, stop. We talk about athleticism here. On this show particularly, we talk about different types of athleticism, obviously, right? Luka does not get credit for it. He is an incredible athlete. He's an unbelievable athlete. He doesn't run and jump like Amen Thompson or something like that, but he slows down better than anybody else in the NBA, and that is a superpower. That is just as much of a superpower, the ability to change speed, slow down, as Amen Thompson's is. It just doesn't get as many highlights, obviously, right? Amen Thompson's going to throw down all these crazy dunks. He's going to get these crazy blocked shots. He's going to get all sorts of insane, unbelievable plays. And it's not like Amen Thompson can't slow down either. He's an incredible Euro step. You know, Anthony Edwards has this ability to both slow down and to speed up in the incredible ways that he can, right? With his power and grace and explosiveness. But this ability to slow down, to put all of his weight through that foot, then be able to continue to dribble, keep the dribble alive, go out wide one more step, then be able to go up, get into Clarkson's space here, draw this foul. That's a special play athletically. It doesn't get credit for it, but it really is. This one, now you got Jackson Hayes coming up. I mean, again, just like the Jazz were trying anything at this point, it felt like. You've got a switch now with Walker Kessler out here. This is probably the funniest play of the game, at least. This is the first play, or the final play of the first half. So you get this drive here. I am certain that Walker Kessler is touching Luka's elbow here, because we can see it. There's no space between his hand and the elbow, right? And Luka's reaction is demonstrative. But you're not always going to get these calls. I mean, you get the arms up, you get him looking at the refs, and just who comes sneaking through here? Just Austin Reeves doing the dirty work. This is the thing about Austin Reeves. Like, people are wondering, oh, will there be enough ball for Austin Reeves? Austin just kind of finds the ball. Like, yeah, LeBron and Luka are going to be more on ball than Austin Reeves is at this point, and you probably won't see as many 45 8-8 games from Austin like he had over the weekend. I think Austin's a stud. We've talked about that ad nauseum on this show. I was planning on doing an Austin breakdown at some point this week. We'll see if that happens. But he's such a high IQ player. Like, he is going to work perfectly with these guys. And this is just such an encapsulation of the motor, the IQ. Someone might need to have a conversation with him about the accessories he keeps picking up. Like, right now we got a headband, we got a shooter sleeve, we got the leg sleeve going. I love that he's going all out with it, but I think he's just going to be such a stud with these guys. This is probably my favorite set of the day. I'm going to call this like a DHO reject into a wide pin lob. I mean, I'm sure there's a name for it that I'm just not wildly familiar with. This is absolutely a set play. You've got Jackson Hayes here screening for Austin Reeves. Again, this is a team that had been switching. The Jazz are, I mean, you can see here they switch. You get the reject there. They still decide to switch the reject, so now you've got Kessler out high. That's the whole purpose of this play, right? You're getting the switch here. That's why you have this screen early from Hayes. You're getting the switch. Then you're going to get the reject, which is going to lead Kessler to stay out on LeBron. And what does that do? So the reject into the wide pin. This is the wide pin part of the play. Luka comes off the wide pin tightly. This now essentially looks like an empty side ball screen action, right? Similar defensive principles. John Collins has got to get over. And honestly, this is really well disguised in terms of getting to this action where Collins does have to rotate over as quickly as he can. Luka's just able to throw this ball up to Jackson Hayes. Easy money on this bucket. This is such a fantastic play. I love these little quick hitter sets that JJ Redick runs. Greg St. Jean's their offensive coordinator. You know, I don't want to give JJ all the credit. I don't know if it was Greg or JJ or whoever on that staff drew this up. But it's just such a smart play knowing that, or at least feeling like there's a good shot, Utah's going to come out of halftime and still be switching everything, and you're going to be able to bring Kessler away from the basket. You're going to have an empty side of the court. And this is just going to result in this easy lob here to Jackson Hayes. It's just money. It's perfect. It's beautiful. Let it wash over you. Perfect. It's exactly how you play a defense against itself there. So this one now, Luka. I mean, this is just fun because now, you know, they're so thrown in terms of what they're trying to do, the Utah. Switch is here. Collier's out way too high, which means Jackson Hayes is going to have an easy run to the rim. If Collins doesn't at least get in the middle of this area. So Luka, you can literally see he is staring at Jackson Hayes this whole time. He is manipulating John Collins to come this way, and that ball's already out of his hands. It's right here on his way to Rui. I mean, this should be a wide open three. Rui just bobbles it, right? Ends up being a contested three and he misses it. But if Rui catches that off the jump, that's a wide open three. And look, again, some of this is just Utah not being very good. I am really excited to break down a game. I mean, I'm really excited to break down a game where it's not Utah necessarily. But this is just fun, guys. Like, just seeing Luka and LeBron just go full showtime. You can't complain about it, right? The second half was like Luka hit ahead city to LeBron. I mean, this is the first one. Beautiful hit ahead. LeBron realizes he's got a crease here. He's going to be able to hit. That crease existing forces Collins up a little bit. That just opens this wide open lob for Jackson Hayes. Basketball doesn't have to be that hard all the time. It can be really easy. Jackson Hayes had 12 points, 6 for 6 from the field tonight. Sometimes it can be easy. He's going to score 10 points a game. LeBron and Luka are going to get him his buckets. There's no doubt about that. So this is the same set that we saw coming out of halftime. And again, we're just going to see the deceleration superpower. So again, Austin brings the ball up the court. Early screen here from Hayes. Passes it to LeBron. Reject DHO. Hayes going from that early screen to the wide pin for Luka. Instead of coming off of it tight into this area, Luka comes off of it out to the three-point line. You can see Jackson Hayes rolling to the rim again. Good contest. But if you give Luka, he's so big and wide and strong that if you give him this lane and you're on his shoulder like this, he's just going to brush you off if you're a guard. It's what he's such a mismatch nightmare, even when you play defense, like not disastrously. Right step there. This is where the deceleration comes in. So ball pickup, left, right. The balance, the coordination, the ability to like have John Collins' arm coming down here. That's where the foul is. Strong enough to maintain on that one right leg, because if he brings the left down, it's a travel. Throw it up. I mean, this dude is special. He's just a special finisher, special scorer. There's just not really anything you complain about with Luka. So this one, empty side of the court. Again, looks back at the official afterward. This one isn't complicated, right? So he feels like he has a mismatch against Isaiah Collier. Collier's a big, strong guard. He's still just absolutely driving Collier backward. You get the Kessler help this way. I mean, you could say maybe, this is the crazy thing about Luka, like no passes off the table. You could say maybe he could get this ball out to Rui, but I'm pretty fine with this little floater here. Just ends up rimming out. He thinks that he got fouled. He always thinks he gets fouled. Turns back the second time to have the conversation with the official. Look, if you don't like people complaining at officials, this Lakers team is not going to be for you with Luka and LeBron. Doesn't really bother me all that much, though. Little horn set. Entry pass here to Luka. Austin Reeves goes away. Screen here from LeBron. Again, key here is that the Lakers know that they're going to switch, which allows LeBron, knowing that Clarkson is going to stay with him, to seal Clarkson high and have all of this space here. Luka knows it. He has the angle up over the top of Isaiah Collier with ease. And now you've got a paint touch. And now you've got one, two, three defenders here. And you've got a guy in Rui that we've talked about. We feel confident when he's open. Wide open kick. Easy money. 3. Again, really sharp just from the Lakers playing what the Jazz are doing against them. Now we've got Luka. Another hit ahead out to LeBron. Easy finish. Again, Luka and LeBron, Luka gets a lot of credit for being just like a dominant half-court force, and rightfully so. But, man, he's a monster with these hit-aheads. And if LeBron is leaking out in transition, it's just going to be a lot of easy opportunities. You've got 3 guys here. If LeBron didn't want to go up for this layup, if he's not able to brush off Collier, he's got Austin Reeves more open than Austin Reeves will ever be in his NBA career again. Easy bucket. Beautiful hit ahead from Luka there. Switch. Now we got defense. Felt like after he got fouled those couple of times and it didn't get called, that he recognized, all right, the refs are kind of letting some stuff go, so I can just be like super physical on the ball and I'll be fine on defense. I thought he competed tonight defensively. There were some moments where he was a little bit off, but like Luka generally competed on defense tonight. And now you see, holds up Lowry. Lowry's not a great passer. You send the double with LeBron. LeBron's able to get his hand in there. Luka up, hit ahead to LeBron. And then freight train just going through Isaiah Collier again. Fouls him. Easy points. Easy points. This one I grabbed just because I thought it was a little bit interesting watching the, interaction between LeBron and Luka. This was kind of like a your turn, my turn situation here where, Luka's going to try and attack Keontae George. He's going to brush him off and throw him 4 feet. Kessler's there, though. Now with Keontae, like all the way back in this play, it's a long closeout for Kessler. LeBron's able to attack. Now it's a kick out to Luka. It's an open 3 that you would expect Luka to be able to hit. I think part of this game was just getting his feel back, getting everything back. I mean, obviously, there's a world to complain about the shot if you want. Could have reversed it to Reeves. Reeves could have reversed it to Rui. Honestly, this should just be a reversal to Reeves. But look, they're up 27 points. I'm sure part of this game was Luka just trying to get back into a rhythm, trying to figure out, all right, let's get the shot back a little bit. I've front rimmed everything. Okay, I front rimmed things again. Like, I'm sure he's just trying to get the feel back as much as anything in this game and trying to get the feel of his teammates. But the interaction between LeBron and Luka there is interesting because you can see them just like creating advantages off of one another, right? It's going to be interesting to kind of track that when they play a better team. So here, empty side of the court. What I like here is just Luka recognizing, all right, he's got Jordan Clarkson on him. There's no reason for me to be over there. I'm good. I feel like I'm shitting on these Jazz guys, and I swear I'm not. It's more just a compliment to how good LeBron and Luka are, that these are substantial mismatches. He goes, okay, I'm good. Let's empty it out. I know they're going to send the double if it's emptied out. Double comes. Kick out to Rui. Now, look, teams do this different ways. In my opinion, this should be Keontae George in a 1-on-2 here. And this should be Kessler on Austin Reeves. I am comfortable with the way the Jazz handle this. If you're going to have Kessler come out, it really just depends on how you're communicating through it at the end of the day, honestly. This ends up being a Kessler closeout. But again, this is gravity from Luka, right? So Luka's here. Smart player. He sinks down to the corner a little bit. Makes Keontae make a decision. Am I going to close out? Am I going to stay put? Ends up being that he decides to stay with Luka. You've got the 1-on-2 here for Kessler. Kessler's late getting to the closeout, I think because he's not expecting to have to close out there, frankly. Easy wide open 3, but that's in part the gravity of Luka. Guy feeling like he has to stay on him. So this one, what are we looking at here? So entry to Hayes, into a Chicago action, a zoom action, whatever you want to call it. Luka's going to come around here. Again, the Jazz are switching these. You can use these to get the advantage that you want. This is now Kyle Filipowski on Luka Doncic. I think Filipowski moves better than he gets credit for on defense, honestly. I don't think he's like a catastrophic defender necessarily. But again, this is still a mismatch, right? This is a rookie on Luka Doncic. Just the way he's able to flip his hips, put the ball in, crossover. He feels like he's getting raked down on the arms here from either Filipowski or is that Sensabaugh in the corner? I'm guessing he thinks it's Filipowski. Look, going to get fouls. He's looking at the official again. Last play here. Now you get Luka. Again, just front rims it. A little bit short, right? It's okay. Things are fine. You're going to miss some shots from time to time. coming off of an injury, coming off of a calf injury where you're getting your legs back into it. It's not a surprise to see Luka Doncic miss a lot of shots short in this game. But what was exciting was seeing Luka and LeBron together in the interplay. You can see that the timing on some of these sets is still a little bit off. Luka didn't play his best game. He goes for 14, 5, and 4 in 24 minutes, right? It was a blowout from moment one, but you could see the gravity. You could see the way that he impacted the game. You could see the way that even though he wasn't the one scoring, he was still impacting everything that the Lakers were doing out there. Hit ahead passes. Guys staying attached to him because they feel like they have to stay attached to him and help defense. He was happy to be more of a decoy tonight. They have so many playmakers now. Like, I would argue this is probably the most playmakers that LeBron has had on his like single team. Maybe since Miami. I would hear out the Cleveland years. If you want to have Kevin Love in this conversation, Kevin Love versus Austin Reeves is like an advantage creator. Kevin Love was a better player than Austin Reeves at that point. But purely like in terms of shot creators next to LeBron James, I mean, like Luka is his best teammate. All due respect to like everybody that has played. He's definitely his best teammate since at least Dwayne Wade. And by the time Luka retires, there's a pretty real shot that he's going to be considered better than Dwayne Wade. I mean, that's kind of talent you have with LeBron now. And LeBron's 40, and it's going to take, you know, situations where he's not as good every night, where he's just okay some nights, right? You're going to want to be able to keep him fresh for the playoffs, but man, this has a chance to be pretty lethal, is what this first game told me. And look, again, we're going to do the next game that this Lakers team plays against a decent team, if only because like this Utah team is just really rough on defense. Like, we can admit it. We can talk through it. It's okay. The thing is that like the Jazz play the Lakers again coming up here in 2 days on Wednesday. And that's their last game before the All-Star break. Then you get Charlotte coming in at Portland on the 20th. With the way Portland is playing, shapes up as an interesting game. But Saturday, the 22nd of February, to me, that's the first one I'm really pinpointing, because that's the Denver game. They play Denver, 5:30 Pacific time. I'm really, really excited to watch that game and to see what Luka does with LeBron in that game, if only because that will feel like, okay, Luka's a little bit further away from injury at this point. Hopefully they've had a little bit more time to coalesce. They've had a little bit more game time. Things should be a little bit more interesting. But that's all we got today. This has been the Game Theory Podcast, Post Game Theory. Please hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. It really helps. Hit the notifications button if you want to know when I post a video, when Bryce and I podcast. Hit the subscribe button on the podcast feed. Go subscribe to all of the social channels. We'll be back with another one of these this week. Probably Cam Boozer against Koa Pete. And then we'll have Rob Dillingham as well, a breakdown of a game that he played recently against Cleveland. A lot of these breakdown videos coming, because I've recorded a lot of them up until the deadline when all of the madness happened. So keep it locked here. Until next time, we'll talk soon. Bye.